The very warmest of welcomes to you indeed to match day 5 in the AFC Champions League Elite. It's the league stage in the East region, and our home is the Kobe City Misaki Park Stadium, where there is an atmosphere of celebration. Partly because Vissel Kobe are at the top of the table with 10 points from their first 4 fixtures. Less positive a picture for the visitors today. The Central Coast Mariners, second from bottom, with just 1 draw in their opening 4 matches. Another reason for the good cheer is that the home team, Vissel Kobe, won the Emperor's Cup a few days ago, Japan's national cup competition, beating Gamba Osaka by 1-0. It will be a much changed team tonight that takes to the field of play. And Vissel Kobe also are thinking about the domestic title in the league, because they won in 2023 and they are 3 points clear with 2 matches remaining over Sanfrecce Hiroshima. It is therefore a busy time for those players. How fortunate they have their great captain back. Wataru Yamaguchi will lead out the team today. But there will be some less familiar faces taking to the pitch. A great chance for them then to establish themselves, and a chance for the visitors to pick up a crucial win if they are to keep alive realistic prospects of qualification to the round of 16. 8 out of the 12 teams go through to join their counterparts from the West. 4 will miss out, and at the moment the Central Coast Mariners are among those 4. They cannot push up into the top 8 today, but what they can do with a win is get closer to it. 6 points currently is the place-holding number to be in the top 8, but all of that could well change over the next little while as these matchday 5 fixtures play out in the East region. Champions of Japan, they might be about to defend their title. The Central Coast Mariners know a lot about that feeling. They had an extraordinary 2023-2024 season, winning the Championship, the Premiership and the AFC Cup, the last ever edition of the AFC Cup and their first ever continental title. And now they visit a team who have discovered success in recent years. It didn't come early on in their history, but victory in the Emperor's Cup in 2019 started something special. They won the Super Cup in 2020, and then that big league title last season, finally turning that success in cup competitions into enduring league consistency, and they might be about to do it again. Amazing to think that Vissel Kobe had only once been in the top 5 before winning their first league title last season. The first champions of Japan to have played 3rd division football before winning the title. Nonetheless, the squad selection today may give a little more hope to the Central Coast Mariners fans. It is still an extremely strong team, though. And they have in reserve some of their really big performers, should they need them. Taisei Miyashiro, for example, the man who scored the goal that won the Emperor's Cup, is on the bench. Starting for the Central Coast Mariners is the gentleman who scored the goal that won the AFC Cup, Alu Kuol. Just moments away now from the start of this contest. The changing face of Asian football, the brand new AFC Champions League Elite, and it's match day 5 in the league stage. What a place to be. The home of the team leading with 3 wins from their first 4 fixtures. Vissel Kobe in great form and great mood. They've just won the National Cup of Japan as well. They take on the Central Coast Mariners, second from bottom in the league stage, and hoping for a huge win to invigorate their first ever AFC Champions League Elite experience. Can they channel the spirit that saw them lift the old AFC Cup last year? Great opportunity for some of these Vissel Kobe players who haven't been as involved as they would have liked to have been in the league this season. The backup goalkeeper, for example, Shota Arai, only playing twice in the league. He did appear in some of the cup matches, though. And they will always have this tremendous support on which to draw. A long journey for the Yellow Army to come all the way to the port city of Kobe. Will they return home beaming with joy after a great performance from the Central Coast Mariners? Kickoff approaches. Takayuki Yoshida has certainly changed things around a little. In comes Shota Arai, the backup goalkeeper who has only played twice in the league this season. It's a similar story for centre-back Takuya Iwanami, who wears number 55. Recent university graduate number 30 Kakeru Yamauchi will operate in the centre of midfield, and captain Hotaru Yamaguchi starts alongside him. In attack is number 26 Jean Patrick, who is hugely in need of a goal or two. Only 5 outfielders named on the bench. Omar Al-Ali of the United Arab Emirates is the referee, and he actually refereed the Asian Cup final, or the AFC Cup final I should say, when Central Coast Mariners were victorious over Al-Ahad. Impressive teenager Dylan Perage Cullen starts in goal for the visiting team, with young centre-back Nathan Paul wearing 33. Both are still quite new to senior football. Number 10, Mikael Docker, will provide some pace and creativity on the right and has already scored twice in the AFC Champions League Elite. In attack is number 99, Ryan Edmondson from England, who scored 3 times as the Mariners won the AFC Cup, but who is yet to score in the Champions League Elite. In reserve for the Central Coast Mariners, number 17, Sabit Nyor, who scored against Shanghai Shenhua earlier on in the league stage. Captain for the Mariners is Brian Kaltak, wearing number 3. The first ever Vanuatu professional footballer. They remain the favourites, even with some changes made to the starting 11. It's such a boost for them to have back Hotaru Yamaguchi. We are underway on match day 5 in the league stage of the first ever AFC Champions League Elite. Vissel Kobe, top in the East region, hosting the Central Coast Mariners, second from bottom, 11th from 12 at the moment. Can they push up the table, get close to that top 8? They can't break into the top 8 today with a win, but they could make things a lot tighter and more uncomfortable for those teams who are 6th, 7th and 8th respectively. It's still only the halfway point of the league stage. As of kickoff, 12 points still remain available. So there is a lot of football that remains. But what a time to be Takayuki Yoshida, the 47-year-old head coach of Vissel Kobe, who's led them to the league title. He might be about to lead them to another league title because they are 3 points clear of Sanfrecce Hiroshima with 2 matches remaining. And he's just led them to the Emperor's Cup, the second time that Vissel Kobe have won that competition. Huge congratulations to them. They beat Gamba Osaka a few days ago. What a job Mark Jackson has done. Also 47 from Leeds in England. Took over in September of last year, leading the Central Coast Mariners, their first ever continental title, the old AFC Cup. And the same referee today. As we look at the gentleman who scored the only goal in that final against Al Ahed of Lebanon, Al Uqwal, in the 84th minute. As expected then, quite a sizable amount of squad rotation has been employed by Takayuki Yoshida, bearing in mind that they were involved in the cup final so recently. A good opportunity for Taiju Sasaki, who has played a lot this season, 33 times in the league, scoring 5 goals, and he actually got the winner in the semi-final of the Emperor's Cup against Kyoto Sanga. But there, wearing 26, Jean-Patrick, a player who has only started 6 times in the league this season. He has played 29 matches, but a rare starting berth for him today. So there's a corner kick for Vissel Kobe. Koya Yuruki will take it. Early test for the Central Coast Mariners defence, and it's a completely free header. Good ball from Koya Yuruki. Wouldn't that have been a remarkable story if Takuya Iwanami had scored? A player who has only played twice in the league this season. The last goal he scored for Vissel Kobe was on the 8th of April 2017 in a win at Omiya Ardija. Returned to the club this season for 55, Takuya Iwanami, after going to the Urawa Red Diamonds. Is the graduate of the University of Tsukuba, Kakaru Yamauchi. 23, Rikuto Hirose. Sasaki. Hirose wanting it back. Could be pretty tricky for Lucas Maragis. left back, dealing with the piece of Sasaki, and with Hirose always arriving to support. They do link up quite nicely. Made away, but not too far by McCalmont. Cleared by Brian Kaltak, the captain. And as one might expect, a lot of possession here for Vissel Kobe. Good recovery that from young Maragis. He had his most successful ever season last year in the A-League. 22 appearances, 2 goals. Joined the club from the Newcastle Jets. Very good acquisition for Mark Jackson's team. He's done really well, gets away from Kaltak. A chance to play it towards number 22, Sasaki. Goodness me, they're in full control of the ball here, Vissel Kobe. Hirose, 29-year-old who joined the club this season after a 4-year spell at the Antlers. He has already won the Japanese top flight, Makoto Hirose, for the Marinos in 2019, that extraordinary season they had under the guidance of Ange Postecoglou. Where the Australian transformed the Marinos from a sleeping giant, really, I think it's fair to say, of Japanese football. A team that had become a lower mid-table team suddenly became the dominant force once more. And it's been a comparable transformation for Vissel Kobe, who never really were quite able to deliver in the league. On the subject of delivering, what a good ball that was from Hirose. Yamauchi's down. Super pass out wide to Hirose, and he didn't waste time getting it in from deep. Defended nicely from Kaltak. He's back, Taru Yamaguchi. Played against Tokyo Verdy a couple of weeks ago, his first appearance since the 25th of August. The setting is the Kobe City Misaki Park Stadium, capacity of about 30,000. It was one of the stadia used for the Japan-Korea 2002 World Cup. Yuruki. Back to Yamaguchi. Hirose wanting it, does get it, maybe a little later than he was hoping for. Touched away with the head of Storm Roux, the New Zealander. Flag up anyway. It's his third spell in charge of the home team. Takayuki Yoshida led them between 2017 and 2018 and resigned due to poor league form. How things have changed. Maragis, a rare move into the Vissel Kobe half. 16, Harry Steele. Number 33 is Nathan Paul, 21-year-old who joined the club last year from Sydney as part of their MPL squad. Overhit for Ryan Edmondson. Hirose, what a great ball there to Sasaki, who quickly and purposefully plays it on. That's wonderful football. Yuruki. Jean-Patrick just never really had full control of that. But the two passes that led to that ball in from Koya Yuruki just cut through the Central Coast Mariners with ease. Sort of flicked it against himself and then took a heavy touch afterwards, the Brazilian. And he does need a goal, just one in the league this season. He has 9 for the club in all competitions. And this really is his great opportunity in the Champions League Elite. He's had more starts in the league stage here than perhaps might have been expected, considering how little he's been used as a starter in the league. Brian Kaltak from Erakor in Vanuatu, a very small island on the outskirts of the capital, Port Vila. An island that is about 600 metres long. And they got themselves into a little trouble. The Central Coast Mariners not punished by Daiju Sasaki. In the first 15 minutes, although it's been really full control of the ball for Vissel Kobe, there's been little to concretely test the 18-year-old Dylan Perech-Cullen, the Central Coast Mariners goal. Tried the flick on Jean-Patrick to Daiju Sasaki. They have in reserve just 5 outfield players today, Vissel Kobe. But one of them is Taisei Miyashiro, who has scored 1 in every 3 games in the league this season. Kawasaki. Anguished gasp from the crowd there as Sasaki couldn't make anything out of that. Always is a fine atmosphere in the Kobe City Misaki Park Stadium. It's in the Hyogoku ward of Kobe, right in the south of the city, on the Akashi Strait, by the waterside. Half cleared by Caltech. It actually used to be the capital of Japan for a brief period in the 12th century, this part of the city. It's always been a historic manufacturing area, hugely strategically important in feudal Japan. Actually, the original name of Vissel Kobe, Kawasaki Steel Soccer Club, is a strange link to that, because although it was in a different part of Japan, it still has a manufacturing ethos to it. They moved to Kobe in 1995. Yamaguchi. Alukwal did really well. We may have limited opportunities today. The 23-year-old. Calmont, who's going to be really important in the midfield for the Central Coast Mariners, with the way that Vissel Kobe can dominate a game. They'll need somebody to win the ball back. Steele. Harry Steele looking for options to Mikael Docka, the Brazilian. Joined the Central Coast Mariners last year from Santos, his first club. Didn't play for them in Serie A, but he was part of their state championship squad on a few occasions. Honda at the back alongside Takuya Iwanami from Vissel Kobe. Along with Ryuho Kikuchi, who wears 81. At the moment, Hirose has been able to spend quite a lot of time forwards, just behind Daiju Sasaki on the right. There's the aforementioned Yuki Honda. Wasn't a bad idea at all, just a little lacking in accuracy, looking for Jean-Patrick. So 20 minutes have gone. Little to report from an attacking point of view, plenty from a possession standpoint. Vissel Kobe with the majority of the ball, but perhaps the Central Coast Mariners getting a little more into the game now. Back to the captain, Kaltak. Making the run was Lucas Maragis. The idea was there. Qual, good control. And it goes to Mikel Doka. Just maybe a little too much power on that pass. But this is an opportunity. Qual with a connection lacking cleanliness. The player who scored the only goal of the AFC Cup final. Still looking for his first in the Champions League Elite. But certainly better now from the Australian team. To Kikuchi. Several years now with the club. Joined them in 2020 from Renofa Yamaguchi after graduating from university. Hirose, great ball. They might surely, I was about to say, they must surely do something with that, but Kakeru Yamauchi just taking a little too long. Covered by Brian Kaltak. His reaction indicative of the fact he knew he'd missed an opportunity to get that ball played laterally. Koya Yuruki with the corner kick once again for Vissel Kobe. No real danger for the Central Coast Mariners. Still that chance for Takia Iwanami early on, the best one. Number 14, Koya Yuruki, is one of the players for whom this is a significant opportunity. The Champions League Elite, it's his 5th appearance, so he's been involved in every single one of the previous matches, despite having only played 8 times in the league. And with the length of the league stage, with there being 8 matches compared to the 6 in the old group stage in the previous format, and there's more opportunity for players. Chance that you might get a game in a competition that otherwise, under the old format, would not have been available to you. So it's a huge benefit to all of these clubs that these extra fixtures, a chance to give real experience to people. Now, can they make something out of this opportunity? Again, it's Brian Kaltak in just the right place. This time with his head. He's been so important for the Central Coast Mariners thus far. So once again, a corner kick from this side. Once again, Koya Yuruki to take it. Now based in the port city of Kobe, having been born in the great port city of Yokohama, across the other side of Honshu. Yuruki's corner kick is a challenging one, but again, nothing comes of it. Comes back in from Honda. Hirose couldn't direct it. He does get another chance though. And in goal for Vissel Kobe, Shota Arai. Very much the backup goalkeeper. Came on as a substitute after a red card to Daya Maekawa back in April in a 2-1 loss to the Marinos, and then he played in their win at Machida Zelvia the following week. That's his only involvement domestically outside of the cup competitions where he's played several times. Sasaki overlapping is Yamaguchi. Now he does use him, but belatedly. Just not quite getting their creative play right in the attacking third. Getting plenty of opportunity though. Dylan Perehich-Cullen nearly outwitted himself there. Moragas. There have been a few occasions where, had it not been for Brian Kaltak, there might have been a clear opportunity for Vissel Kobe. It was cleverly done from Harry Steele. He's got Vitor Feijão. Here is the Brazilian. And there was the Brazilian, just for a moment. Now the counter-attack might be on for Vissel Kobe. It's Likuto Hirose. He's got Jean-Patrick out to the right, and he finds Jean-Patrick. Options. Can he make the right decision? Oh, too heavy a touch, and again Kaltak clears. A few occasions now where Jean-Patrick hasn't quite kept the ball close enough to himself. Is Yuyu Kawasaki, joined the club this season from Vivaren Nagasaki, his hometown club. Graduate of the very renowned Waseda University. Gentleman in possession. In the last 15 minutes of the first half. Vissel Kobe 0, Central Coast Mariners 0. It's the East region of the AFC Champions League Elite, the first edition of this tournament. Vissel Kobe at the moment top on 10 points. Central Coast Mariners 11th, second from bottom, with just 1 point from a possible 12. Kaltak trying to burst through on his own. Wow, this is unexpected and impressive from Brian Kaltak. And in the end, he just doesn't get enough power on the pass to Vitor Feijão, but that was the most bold move through the centre that we've seen from a Central Coast Mariners player. Came from their centre-back and captain. Risky that from Qual. For Edge, Cullen, sensible decision that time. No space there to play a shorter pass and try to build up an attack, as he does like to do. Six shots for Vissel Kobe, but really very little in terms of clear chances, and that's the more telling statistic. No shots on target so far in the entire match. And really the first 5 minutes of the match suggested it was going to be quite different. So it is a job well done by Mark Jackson's players. They've stifled as best they can. They've tried to create here and there. First and foremost, they've restricted things for a team who've been in very good form, a team challenging for another domestic title, a team at the top of the group stage. And they've had some fine wins so far, Vissel Kobe, especially 2-0 away at Ulsan HD, 2-0 win at home against Gwangju, the team just behind them in second place. The remarkable Gwangju, who have been enjoying so much their first ever experience of continental football. Cleverly played to Vitor Feijão. Steal. Marquez is coming to offer some support. Vitor Feijão trying to find Alu Qual, and he did well. Here's the corner kick. Good vision there, coming from the centre of midfield to spot Vitor Feijão out on the wing. And he nearly picked up Alu Qual. Scored 5 times in the title-winning season last year. Docker's corner kick. Goalkeeper deals with it really well. What a great punch away from Shota Arai. Back it comes, still forward from centre-back Nathan Paul. He's yet to score a senior goal. It would be among the biggest surprises on the pitch if he were to get one. He's tall and imposing and useful to bring forward the set pieces. Iwanami. Excellent pass to Hirose. And the reaction of Daiju Sasaki was very telling. He was timing that run superbly through the centre. And Hirose just took a split second and missed the chance to play him in. Qual looking for Maragis. Good pressure put on there by the fullback. Engineers the corner kick as a result. Vargas to play it in. They're going to get a chance here, and brilliantly blocked by Kakeru Yamauchi. Kaltak, the player it fell to. He has already scored this season domestically. Strong finish to the first half from the Central Coast Mariners. What a transformation to the dynamic of the match it would be if they can score here. Had so few attacking positions in the course of the first half. Yamaguchi appealing to Omar Al-Ali for a foul. Foul on Ryan Edmondson, who joined the club in January from Carlisle United in the north of England. His debut in continental football actually came in the UEFA Europa League for Aberdeen in September of 2020. Dwelling on the ball from Brian Kaltak, who's got just about everything right so far in this first half. Hirose. Yuruki. Kawasaki is fouled. McAlmont shaking his head in disagreement, but the decision made. From Yuruki, flicked on, flicked in. Ryuho Kikuchi with the goal. The centre-back, right before half-time, makes all of the possession finally pay off. Vissel Kobe 1, the Central Coast Mariners 0. First time he's ever scored in continental competition. First goal of the season too. In from Yuruki. Flicked on by his partner in the centre of defence, Takuya Iwanami. And he was played onside by a couple of players, including Brian Kaltak, Ryuho Kikuchi. 40th minute goal from number 81, Ryuho Kikuchi, the centre-back. Edmondson, as an immediate response is plotted by the visitors. Well, that's an unfortunate moment for the Central Coast Mariners. They'd nearly made it to half-time without concession. Good, secure goalkeeping again from Shota Arai. He hasn't had a great deal to do. Everything he's done right. The greatest, well, we'll come back to that, because here's Edmondson with an opportunity almost out of nowhere. Really well saved by Shota Arai, but it was offside. I was about to say, not the greatest of shocks of all centre-backs that Ryuho Kikuchi scored, because although he's had no goals in continental competition this season, he did score a couple of times earlier on in the league season. Well, Shota Arai is in a little pain. Saved that ever so well, thumped down hard on his lower back. Two goalkeepers on the bench, Paolo Bina Obi and Taiga Kameda. It looks as though it's just a little discomfort after that heavy landing. He's making the most of this opportunity, Shota Arai. His first match in the Champions League Elite. His place as the backup goalkeeper, a very secure one. But he's performed well in this first half. Just to remind you once again that it's 8 of the 12 that go through to the round of 16 from the East Region League stage. Exactly the same happens in the West Region. Hirose. Kawasaki. 2 additional minutes to be played. Did just go out of play. One for Maragis, who's just managed to hold off Yamaguchi. And here comes some support out on the right flank. Stormru getting forwards. Qual to Maragis, might be tempted to shoot, and was very tempted. He has scored once for the club in the 2-1 loss at home to Buildup United. Vissel. Caltac might look to get it forward one more time before the half-time interval. But it looks as though Vissel Kobe will take a narrow advantage into the break. A first ever goal in continental competition for Ryuho Kikuchi in the 40th minute, the only goal so far. Lots of possession for Vissel Kobe, few really clear chances. And strangely, it was the two central defenders who combined it to get the only goal. All of that gives some hope perhaps to Mark Jackson's players that they can do something in the second half to turn the match around. They've had the odd opportunity here and there. Hope very much not lost. At the break, Vissel Kobe 1, the Central Coast Mariners 0.
The AFC has reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining the highest officiating standards by implementing the video assistant referee VAR system ever since revamped club structure for the 2003-04 season. The purpose of the VAR will be to rectify clear and obvious mistakes in match-changing situations based on the principles and philosophy of the rules of the game. The VAR team supports the decision-making process in the event of a clear and obvious error or serious incident in relation to goal, no goal, penalty, no penalty, direct red card, mistake identity, when the referee cautions or sends off the wrong player of the offending team. Stationed in the video operations room, the VAR team will have access to all camera feeds and will automatically check every match restart. In the event of a clear and obvious error, the VAR communicates with the referee immediately. After which, the referee will signal the check by pointing to their hand to indicate that the restart of play is being delayed. The VAR can suggest a review, but only the referee can initiate the review by signaling the outline of a TV screen. The referee always makes the final decision, but can be supported by the
Welcome back to the Kobe City Misaki Park Stadium. Changes made at half-time. Ryo Hatsuse coming on for Takuya Iwanami. Only 5 outfield options for Takayuki Yoshida. He's gone with a very small substitutes bench. Just the 1 goal so far, scored by Ryuho Kikuchi, set up by the aforementioned Takuya Iwanami, flicking on Koya Yuruki's free kick. Chances here and there for the Central Coast Mariners to get back into the game. A header for Alu Kuol. A shot from Brian Kaltak was blocked. A decent attempt by Vito Feijão to play in Kuol. It's the second half and Vissel Kobe lead by a goal to nil. Get an early free kick as well. So a change in the heart of the defence for the home team. Certainly a foul there on Daiju Sasaki by Lucas Maragis. There is the substitute, 27-year-old from Kishiwada, a city of 200,000 people quite near Osaka, which itself is not a million miles away from Kobe. They're all in the Kansai region of western Honshu. Touched on by goal scorer Kikuchi to Yuruki. And it was again to Kikuchi. Vito Feijão trying to relieve some pressure, but It's won back by Daiju Sasaki. Calling for it is Yamauchi. Goes behind for a corner. This time it will be Ryo Hatsuse to take the corner kick, the substitute. Hatsuse looking for Ryoho Kikuchi. They scored quite a few goals for Vissel Kobe, Kikuchi. This one was his 12th. Maguchi, there was space there for Jean-Patrick. He just needed to go over the top of that last defender. We haven't really seen Jean-Patrick enormously involved in the game so far. This, as I mentioned earlier, is such an important game for Jean-Patrick, with his league form not having been hugely strong. He started in the wins against Ulsan and Gwangju. Yuruki, purposeful and clever. Yamaguchi is forward, as is number 30, Yamauchi. The ball has gone in almost extraordinarily. And the Central Coast Mariners players look around astonished at how that happened. But it's Kakeru Yamauchi with just his 3rd goal. A season that's seen him score twice in the league. He now gets one in the Champions League. It's Vissel Kobe 2, the Central Coast Mariners 0. Now, was it his goal? Does it come off Storm Roux? It looks as though it's the New Zealander who gets the last contact. Certainly claimed by Kakeru Yamauchi. The player who looked to be in a better position was actually Hotaru Yamaguchi. Now Jean-Patrick, he's going to go down and get nothing by way of reward. Looks to be in a bit of trouble, Jean-Patrick. Let's have a look again. Oh, it's an uncomfortable fall. He's clutching the back of his leg, the hamstring area. Had a little connection with Lucas Moragues, nothing that was untoward, but what a disappointment for Jean-Patrick. You have to feel such sympathy for him because he doesn't get to start huge numbers of games, and he looks to be going no further in this one. Substitution being prepared for Vissel Kobe, and one hopes that Jean-Patrick is going to be okay soon. Clearly a problem in the hamstring sort of area based on the way he was clutching the back of his leg. The goal, by the way, seems to have been credited for now as an own goal by Storm Roux. So just for a moment, Vissel Kobe playing with one fewer than the Central Coast Mariners. But their advantage consolidated. That's a good idea. Very nearly put in by Vissel. First opportunity he's had. And once again it's Harry Steele who's got good vision. This young man who has come through the youth team. So it is Daise Miyashiro who's come on for the injured Jean Patrick. The man who, a few days ago, scored the goal that won the Emperor's Cup. Edmondson will settle for the corner kick. Miyashiro, by the way, has scored 4 times in the 4 previous matches in the Champions League Elite. So he's been in form in all competitions this season. 10 goals in the league as well. 17 in all competitions. As forward there came Storm Roux, the player regrettably credited with the own goal. Docker. Roux. And that's going to be tricky. Goodness me. Storm Roux, having scored an own goal, has just engineered one. Otaru Yamaguchi slicing it past Shota Arai, who had no opportunity to deal with that. Amazingly, the Central Coast Mariners are back in this game. 2-1. And how extraordinary that it is, of all people, Storm Roux. It was a difficult ball for Yamaguchi to deal with. And he made it impossible for his own goalkeeper. Two own goals in the space of 4 minutes. Ball out wide comes from Ryo Hatsuse. Nearly to Koya Yuruki, who was looking to sneak in at the far post. Should be dealt with by Nathan Paul, and it is quite calmly too. Forward from Maragis. Oh, well covered. Alfie McCalmont got back excellently. Hirose, can he keep it in? He does. Sasaki not able to connect in any way. The referee spotted an infringement, to his displeasure and disagreement. Had his best season last year for the club. 7 goals in 33 in the league. Not far off it this year, 5 in 33. As I mentioned earlier, that winner in the semi-final of the Emperor's Cup. substitute Hatsutse. If Vissel Kobe hold on, then they'll be on 13 points from a possible 15. Excellent start to the inaugural AFC Champions League Elite. Just their third time in the Champions League in any form. They were semi-finalists the first time in 2020, losing to Ulsan HD in a very strange semi-final during the pandemic, that one-legged semi-final played in those hub conditions. Here's Kwol, brilliantly covered by Kikuchi. Sasaki. Yuruki. Back to Hatsuse. Yamaguchi, the scorer of one of the two own goals. Yamauchi. There is Doka. Stormru wanting it on the right and getting it. And now Mikhail Doka. Stormru. That's another ball of purpose, just a little too much height on it this time. And well kept in, really well kept in. The attack is alive and the goalkeeper is alert. Edmondson. Oh, very nearly. Good effort that from Ryan Edmondson. Didn't have much of that side of the goal to work with. The angle was really closed down by number 15, Yuki Honda. And it was pretty comfortably wide. Shota Arai was covering it in any case. But there is a livelier feel to the contest after those two own goals. Now, a yellow card to Brian Kaltak. That creates a rather tense last 30 minutes or so for him. Certainly leads with the arm as he jumps. Good ball, well defended by Stormru. Sasaki, and a goal kick in the end. For Central Coast Mariners, down in 11th place, it's been a really cruel first experience in the AFC Champions League Elite, because other than that first game where they lost 3-1 to Shandong Taishen, it was a 2-1 loss to Buriram United, a 3-2 loss to Shanghai Port, a 2-2 draw at home to Shanghai Shenhua with that 95th minute equaliser. So they've been very competitive despite ending up with only 1 point. And indeed, Mark Jackson said of that game against Shanghai Shenhua, that draw, that it was the best they played continentally this season by some way. As now we've got another centre-back cautioned. Kaltak at one end, Ikuchi at t'other, for a very similar reason. So there's consistency from Omar Al-Ali. And now we see a couple of changes. Vitor Feijão will be departing. Ryan Edmondson likewise. So coming on, Christian Theo Harris wearing number 7, a 24-year-old who scored twice in their AFC Cup winning campaign. And also Bailey Brandtman, 19-year-old to forward. Played 3 times as substitute in that AFC Cup win. And Brandtman was the player who scored the equaliser I was talking about a moment ago against Shanghai Shenhua as Kuol shoots into the side netting. Kalman's ball, good quick turn from Alu Kuol. They are getting more and more threatening in this match, the Central Coast Mariners. Brandtman keeps it alive. Nathan Paul. Through out to Doka. He was the MVP of the AFC Cup winning campaign. 13 appearances, 4 goals. Kuol. And that is just about been kept from going behind for a corner kick by Storm Roux. New Zealander who rejoined the club in 2021, having been there between 2013 and 2018. A spell at Melbourne Victory in the intervening years. Kawasaki. Katsuse. Flick was rather aimless from substitute Taisei Miyashiro. Doka. No chance to get it in. Roux. Brandtman might keep this in play. Pulls it back cleverly. Good idea that from Brandtman. McCalmont shot. Was nicely done by Yuruki. Eventually showed a little too much of the ball. And he just relieves more pressure that's starting to build up gradually on the Vissel Kobe goal. This has become a trickier match than it looked as though it was going to be. for Takayuki Yoshida. First ever meeting for Vissel Kobe with an Australian team in continental competition. Yuruki. This is everyone, and eventually is kept in by substitute Christian Theo Harris. Central Coast Mariners, by the way, have a record of 1 win, 2 draws, 5 losses against Japanese teams in the Champions League in all of its forms. The only win against Sanfrecce Hiroshima in 2014. Cleverly done. Yuruki, space. Can he find someone? There's your answer. Corner kick at least. But certainly more hoped for by the Vissel Kobe fans and by Koya Yuruki. Still more than 20 minutes left. Once again, footed Ryo Hatsuse to swing this corner kick towards Parej Cullen. Then it was just a little too low for Kikuchi. Ended up almost with his nose on the ground there. He's always a target, though, from corner kicks and free kicks, for obvious reason. Hatsuse goes long. Read by Kaltak, and it will be the Central Coast Mariners ball. Moragues. You just wonder, don't you? It might be close to a real turning point in this match. Central Coast Mariners starting to push a little more, and that could create chances, but also might create spaces for Vissel Kobe. Here is Sasaki, for example. Great defending from Kaltak. For a moment, the shot seemed to be on, but Brian Kaltak threw himself at that ball. I don't think it would be a huge surprise if we get another goal. It's just which way. Yuruki. The corner kick. As ever, Kikuchi will be a threat. Oh, the header coming from number 30, Kakeru Yamauchi. Actually, it might have been Sasaki who got the touch. Yeah, it was. Yuruki. Just a little slip as he gets that back from Yuya Kuwasaki. He's had a lot of experience in the AFC Champions League. Koya Yuruki, this is his 16th game. Went all the way through to the final in 2019 with the Red Diamonds. Didn't actually play in the final. He was part of their squad, an important part of it. Docker played that a little behind Bailey Brantman, the player who joined on a scholarship contract last season. Played 5 times as they won the league, starting 1 game. He'd already started 3 games this season and has played 5 times, so no doubt he's becoming more and more high profile. Number 37, Bailey Brantman. Risk in how they're defending here, Vissel Kobe. Just looking a little pressurised by the Mariners. Here's Yamaguchi, and again it's Kaltak, and he actually manages to turn that into a good pass too to Docker. Bailey Brantman. Calling for it. Storm Rue wants it on the other side. Who's going to get it here? It's an equalising goal. Extraordinary. It's him again, Bailey Brantman, who scored in the 95th minute against Shanghai Shenhua. And from 2-0 down, the Central Coast Mariners are level. And this brilliant prospect, the 19-year-old, has done it again. Players were calling for it. There were a couple of options for Brantman, and he decided after this clever little ball from Docker that he was the best option himself, and he was right to back himself. Does get a touch, doesn't it? Deflection from Ryuho Kikuchi, and that may have made all the difference. 74th minute goal from Bailey Brantman. Well, I did say you had the feeling, didn't you, that a goal was coming. We have had exactly that. We've had a total transformation to the atmosphere of this match. Now, what response from Vissel Kobe? Here's Koya Yuruki. Just a little too high for Kakeru Yamauchi. Yuruki again. Naiju Sasaki. Sasaki once more. No clear way through. Good, secure defensive work from the Central Coast Mariners. Now, this wouldn't change the Australian team's place in the table. They would still be 11th. But it would be better than nothing. Lots of space for Daiju Sasaki. And he floats it uncomfortably there for Perej Cullen. Goalkeeper made the right decision. And now will see Hotaru Yamaguchi hand the captain's armband to Hatsuse. Coming on is Yosuke Ideguchi. Ideguchi from the city of Fukuoka, which is hosting the last day today of the season end to the World Table Tennis Tour. Hosted the World Aquatics Championships last year as well. Very fine sporting city, Fukuoka, and its neighbouring city of Kitakyushu has just held the Parkour World Championship, so a lot's been going on in Yosuke Ideguchi's home island of Kyushu. Now, what's going to be going on in the last little spell of this intriguing match between Vissel Kobe and the Central Coast Mariners? Substitutions have had an impact from Mark Jackson. If they can win this from 2-0 down, the Mariners, suddenly they'll be back in play on 4 points with 6 points as things stand. What the 8th place team are on. So they'd be back in the conversation. Both 7th and 8th on 6 points coming into match day 5. Pohang Steelers and Kawasaki Frontale. And there's only a point then that separates that team in 7th from 3rd place, because you've got the Marinos, Johor Darul Tazim, Shanghai Shenhua and Buriram United all on 7 points. So it could change a great deal as we go through these last several fixtures. Minutes plus additional time remaining. Vissel Kobe 2, the Central Coast Mariners 2. Completely through and spilled over the line. Daiju Sasaki found himself with so much space, and then poor Dylan Pereic-Cullen couldn't hold it. Well, the inquest will begin. Firstly, how did that go through to Daiju Sasaki? And secondly, how did it go through Pereic-Cullen? He's onside. They got that wrong. Nathan Paul coming forwards. Kaltak level. And that is a really rotten moment for a very good young goalkeeper, Dylan Pereic-Cullen. Oh, what frustration. '81st minute goal from Daiju Sasaki. Vissel Kobe back in the lead from 2-0 to 2-all to 3-2. And they've got to mount a comeback once more, the Central Coast Mariners. You just feel for a really good young goalkeeper in Pereic-Cullen. He became the youngest ever starting goalkeeper for the club on the first day of the season, and the youngest in the history of the A-League to actually start and keep a clean sheet. So he's He's got a long way still to go in his career. His promise is enormous, but that is a really miserable moment for him. It happens to every goalkeeper at some point, more than once. Just seemed to take everyone by surprise, though. Daiju Sasaki in an enormous amount of space. And maybe Perech Cullen wasn't expecting Sasaki to hit it so quickly. In it again. Played on cleverly by Miyashiro. Just kept in by Koya Yuruki. Yuruki's ball is a clever ball, and it's into the side netting from Miyashiro. Good vision, really good from Yuruki. Difficult to steer that one in from there, though. Oh, that was very close. Wondered if Perech Cullen was close to getting a fingertip to that. Departing, Mikuto Hirose. To be replaced by Mitsuki Hidaka. And we're also saying farewell to Kakeru Yamauchi. So 2 young players on now for Vissel Kobe. Nina Tominaga, 20. Second appearance in the Champions League, second in any form of continental competition. Came up through the youth team. He's been on the bench in the league, but yet to play. And Mitsuki Hidaka, similar for him, yet to play in the league. He's had some appearances in cup competition. So they've got a little time to make an impact. Definite foul on Kawasaki. Mikael Doka, the player who impeded him. Unable to keep it in play. Well, there's the gentleman who may have won the match. Daiju Sasaki, his 11th goal in all competitions this season. Second in the Champions League Elite. Harry Steele is going to be replaced by Sabit Nyor in an attacking move for the Central Coast Mariners. 23-year-old, born in Kakuma, site of a huge refugee camp in Kenya. Has grown up in Australia and joined this summer from Heidelberg United. Hatsuse controls it well, back to Yuruki. Yuruki will get it back. Clever flick there from Kwol to keep the ball. Oh, and then it's unfortunately just overhit for Nyor. To Tominaga. He combines with his fellow substitute Hidaka. The pullback was a nice idea for Sasaki, just didn't have the pace. Should be easy for Kaltak, and it is. It can be put strongly enough just what an accomplishment it is for Brian Kaltak to be the first ever Vanuatu professional footballer, and to have achieved it at quite a late stage in his career. Joined the Central Coast Mariners initially on an injury replacement contract a couple of years ago, having played for a variety of clubs in Australia, New Zealand, the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea. A late chase for an equalising goal now, the Central Coast Mariners. Here's the substitute, Nyor. Calling for it was Kwol, wanted it to go over the top. Sprinting forwards, Storm Roux. It's all petered out. Now, how much additional time will there be for Mark Jackson's team? Might be a break on here. Yuruki. Still has it, still has a chance, it's over the top. Just didn't drop quickly enough, did it, for Koya Yuruki? Had to reset his position. 5 minutes, it's time enough for the Central Coast Mariners. Might get caught out here as the game starts to stretch. They have got a dangerous player to worry about in number 9, Taisei Miyashiro. Whose impact has been positive once again, whose future is bright, as is Dylan Pereich-Cullens, though he will not want to revisit this match. Goodness knows it's a difficult prospect to succeed the great Danny Vukovic, who is now the goalkeeping coach at the club. Kaltak. Good spot there for Nyor. Really nicely defended by the replacement captain, Nyor Hatsuse. Miyashiro. Tominaga. Sensible play just to try to use up time. He'll be one to keep an eye on in the next few years, Nina Tominaga. Just recently finished an 18-month spell on loan at Kamatamare Sanuki in the 3rd tier, J3. Scored 6 times in 24 games. McCalmont. One back with ferocity. Really good play that from Mitsuki Hiraka. And that time comfortably held by Perez Cullen. Maybe a bit of a waste that from Vissel Kobe. They had time they could have used up, and that was good goalkeeping from Shota Arai. Instructions to his teammates. Had to work hard to deny Bailey Brantman there. You do feel for Arai. He's conceded twice. One of them an own goal from his captain, and the other a deflection. It looks as though Vissel Kobe are just about going to escape with a win. Possession with the home team, and they're going to be in possession of top spots at the end of match day number 5. The first team to make it to double figures in terms of points, and now they're going to be on 13. Turn their attention now to trying to win that league title for a 2nd consecutive season. And this just a few days after winning the cup. Hard work that for Vissel Kobe. They were 2-0 up, found themselves at 2-2, and then a rather tough winning goal to stomach for Dylan Perez Cullen, scored by Daiju Sasaki. And it means that Vissel Kobe, a matter of days after winning the Emperor's Cup, maybe a matter of days away from winning the league title for a 2nd consecutive season, are at the top of the East region in the inaugural AFC Champions League Elite. They're on 13 out of 15 points. For the Central Coast Mariners, they remain on just 1 single point from their opening 5 fixtures. It's now a very tough path through to the round of 16 for the Australian team. Nonetheless, 3 matches remain, so hope is not lost. But regrettably for the Mariners, this match has been courtesy of Vissel Kobe. At full time, it finishes Vissel Kobe 3, the Central Coast Mariners 2.